Sorry, I'm old school, I don't do computers and things. I left the classroom teaching because it all got a bit technological for me, so I'm going to rely on my paper. My name's Kate Beddow, and I'm an energy teacher and family healer, which is a little bit different to the other people that have been talking today. And I just want to try and show you a little bit about how you can discover your own inner energy system, and how you can harness that inner energy to help yourself and help your child when you're going through treatment. Whether you're a parent caring for your child or a medical professional, if you don't take the time to care for the carer, then there's no one to care for the patient. And I think that's something that's really come out today, the importance of the sort of support network around the children. We all know that it's important to care for ourselves, to eat well, to drink enough water, to exercise, get enough sleep. But at times when our loved ones really need us, it's easy to put their needs ahead of our own, especially when it's our children. I'm not suggesting for a minute that it's wrong to do that. But having been seriously ill myself with a young child to care for, I know how important it is to just keep a little bit back for yourself as well. If you become ill yourself, you can no longer provide the care that you want to for your child, and I think that's really important. I've been using energy healing now myself for around 6 years, but I've actually had the ability to do it all my life, and everybody does. We just don't always realise that that's what we're doing. I had major surgery 7 years ago when I had a pituitary tumour, and I was looking around for something to keep myself well, and I stumbled across Reiki. Within a few months, I'd done all my Reiki training. I was completely addicted. I was healing myself, my family, and sort of the wider circle of friends, and even my own young children using it. And I've seen the benefits that has for the family. So now I'm teaching other parents and the children themselves to tap into this amazing natural healing energy so that they can keep themselves happy and healthy as well. So what is energy healing? Well, I believe that it's as old as life. We've always used the power of touch to help ourselves feel better, emotionally and physically. And if you read any ancient text, it'll refer to the laying on of hands, it'll talk about healing. And these basic instincts are so deeply ingrained in our culture that we don't think twice if a child wants something kissing better, or if a friend's had a really bad day and they want a hug. We just naturally use our physical energy to help others to feel better. Most of us have just forgotten why we're doing it, because it's such a natural part of the way we've developed as societies. So what are we doing? Well, I'm not a scientist, far from it. But Einstein said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. And that works for me. If everything's energy, and energy can never be destroyed, it only ever changes state, it doesn't take too big a leap of faith to believe that we might be able to manipulate it in some way. We all detect energy from other people all the time. We just don't always realise that that's what we're doing. We've all walked into somebody's house when we're going for a meal with them and just known that they've had a big argument a few minutes before, even though they're smiling and, perfectly polite. Or you walk into a building for the first time and either really like it but don't know why, or just have a slightly bad feeling about it and don't want to stay there. When we do this, we're picking up on the subtle energies that are around us. There's an increasing evidence that we have invisible, non-physical energy systems flowing through our body, and we're understanding more about these and discovering more about them all the time. But personally, I don't need scientific proof to believe in energy healing, because I see the effects every day. In the same way that I can't prove that I love my children, but I know I do, I know that energy healing has immeasurable benefits for people, especially during difficult times. So how can you embrace this system and use it to heal yourself and others? Well, there are many different energy healing systems which have developed over the centuries and in different parts of the world. Most people have now heard of Reiki. There's also an Egyptian energy healing called Sekem. People use angelic healing. We hear about spiritual healing. They're all slightly different forms of energy healing, but they can all be taught. So you could seek out a teacher and learn the energy healing system that appeals to you. But whatever you call it and however you tap into it, I honestly believe that we all have this ability in us. And I also believe that you don't need to take a class to be able to use it. I want to make it clear at this point that I'm not suggesting for a minute that we all stop going to the doctors or going to the hospital if we're not feeling well. I don't rely 100% on energy healing treatments. You know, I still rely on the hospital to keep myself in, full health. Because as much as I know that I could probably, using natural methods, keep on top of my own health, modern life just doesn't allow me the amount of time that I would need to be able to make sure I was eating exactly the right things at the right time, getting enough sleep. You know, when you've got young children and you're running a family and things, you just can't devote that sort of time to your own well-being. Energy healing does have its limits too, and I just wanted to point this out because our medical knowledge has evolved to such a degree now that energy healing works on very, very basic principles, that it's doing what's best for our physical body. So if we go back to caveman times, if a caveman broke his leg, he would just want it to be fixed and to stop hurting as quickly as possible. And energy healing would do that. What it won't do, obviously, is make sure that it's been set so that it's nice and straight and, aesthetically pleasing. So it does have its limits, and I understand that. And I'm not suggesting for a minute that we all walk away from hospitals and just, live in communes or anything. But the wonderful thing about energy healing, and what I want to talk about more today, more than the physical healing, is the fact that it does have the ability to heal emotional issues as well. And it's intensely relaxing and very calming. And I think at times when you've got a lot of stress in your life, that benefit in itself is, worth its weight in gold. Obviously, not everybody wants to learn how to harness this gift, and I appreciate that. And a lot of you are probably just sitting there thinking, why am I wasting my time listening to this weird woman talking? But I'd just like to take a few minutes to show you some simple exercises that can help you relax, de-stress, recharge, and maybe even heal yourself just a little bit. So if you just bear with me, I know some of you are sitting thinking that I'm a bit mad, but if you could just all stand up and just join in with these exercises. Thank you so much. I've been worrying all week that I was going to say that and everybody would just stay sat down. If nothing else, it'll stop your bum getting too numb. Right. So if you just stand with your feet shoulder width apart and just relax and let your arms flop down by your side. And just close your eyes for a minute and just feel how your body's feeling. Notice if there's any tension in your shoulders. Your bum probably is a little bit numb from sitting down all day. And just notice how you're feeling. Okay. If you all just open your eyes, I'm just going to do very, very simple exercises. So we're going to start with a breathing exercise, which is really useful for just calming yourself down. I don't know about everybody else who's been doing the talking today, but I've been sitting doing deep breathing all day, listening to everybody else thinking, it's nearly my turn, it's nearly my turn. And just something as simple as taking some really deep breaths can make a big difference. But if we combine that with doing some physical movements as well, it just helps to align our body to our breathing. So all I want you to do is just put your hands up by your side like that. And as you breathe in, just lean back a little bit. Take a big deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just bring your arms into the centre, tuck your head in, and just curl your back ever so slightly. And we're just going to do a couple of repeats. So breathe in, and lean back. And as you breathe out, just curl yourself in. The advantage of using your shoulders as well is that it naturally just relaxes your shoulders a little bit as you're doing the breathing. You're all doing brilliantly. Okay. Just let your hands just relax by your side again. And just see if you feel any different. You might notice that your shoulders aren't quite as tense. You might notice a little bit of tingling in your hands. I saw that. Standing at the front doing that. So that's just a really simple exercise. It's from a healing method called Qigong, which some people might have heard about. And it just opens up your spine, relaxes your shoulders, and just combining the breathing with the movement just helps to rebalance your nervous system and just calm your body down. The next thing we're going to do is shaking. Now, if we just shake out our arms and legs, I know, you see, you didn't think you were coming to do this, did you? And this is brilliant. Just make sure you give your tummy a wiggle as well. It's brilliant for just opening up all your joints. So the energy can flow through a lot easier if you've not got that tension in your joints, because we all tend to spend a lot of time sitting still, or, you know, we put a lot of impact on our backs and our wrists and things, and our shoulders get tense. So that just opens all that up. Next, you're going to like this one. We're going to do some patting to wake up our muscles. So we're going to start on the shoulder, just pat down the outside of your arm, and back up the inside, and across the chest, avoiding my microphone, down the other arm, back up, and then we'll move on to the legs. Apologies to anybody wearing a skirt. Back up, and then pat your tummy, pat your back to your tummy, back to your back. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody smiling. Now, just again, take a minute just to relax. Close your eyes if you need to, and just see how differently you feel. I can see loads of people twitching their hands, which is brilliant. You might find that you get some tingling or some warmth in your hands, and you might feel it trickling down your arms. That's the energy that I tap into when I'm doing a treatment. I don't stand and do all that because I've been taught how to tap into it whenever I need to. But it's the same energy. And if you're standing there now feeling warmth in your hands and feeling a tingling, and you've got a bad knee, a bad back, a bad shoulder, you've got a bit of a headache, you can just put your hands on there now. If you haven't, you can always put your hands on somebody else. If you know that, the person sitting next to you's got a bad back, get your hands on them instead. And then you can, if anybody wants to come and give some healing to this lady at the front, she'd like it on her knee, please. You can all sit down now. Thank you so much. Okay. I hope that by just giving that little demonstration, you might have a slightly better understanding of what I'm talking about. You can use the energy to make a physical difference to yourself. So if it's that you've got aches and pains, if you're feeling tired, if you're just feeling a bit run down, you can use it. But you can just use it to help you relax, and sometimes that's as valuable as anything, particularly in the world that we're living in now. Some people find it really easy to tune into their inner energy, and for other people it takes more practice. But if you're interested, please don't lose heart if you haven't felt anything this afternoon. It doesn't mean that you won't, and it definitely doesn't mean that you can't do it. Everyone can tap into this energy, but in the same way that some people are born singing and other people need lessons, some people just need a little bit more practice and a bit more guidance to help them to use it. As I mentioned earlier, energy healing and learning to tune into your own energy system is a wonderful way to relax and restore balance in your life. It can help you sleep, it can help you cope with stress and anxiety, and many, many more things. And one of the greatest challenges as parents watching our child struggle is staying emotionally strong for them when we're hurting ourselves. We manage to do it for the most part, but if our child's suffering over a prolonged period, we're bound to get depleted. And it might sound trite, but something as simple as doing those exercises every morning just for a couple of minutes can just help you start the day feeling a bit more relaxed and calm, and just a bit more ready to deal with what the day's got to offer. When my children need me, they always come first. But after I went through my own serious illness a few years ago, it really hit home how important it is to keep yourself mentally and physically well too. Because if you're not, then you can't care for your child, and that's even harder. As a parent who's not been able to look after my child rather than the other way around, it's a really hard thing to do. And if they're suffering as well, then it's torture. We all want to believe that we're invincible, but actually we're all human, and we all need a bit of rest, and we all need some TLC sometimes, and never more than when our children are ill. I wish that I had a magic wand to make all the suffering melt away, but until I find one, I intend to tell as many people as I can about the nearest thing I've found, and that's energy healing. If one person goes away today and finds out more about it, and then uses it on themselves and on their child when they're going through treatment, helps their family through recovery, and then goes on to use it to help them stay happy and healthy, then I'll really feel like I've achieved something, because I know how life-changing learning this can be. So hopefully I've pricked your interest, and you might just have had a glimpse at something that you've not been aware of before. If anybody's interested in knowing a bit more, I've been really cheeky and stuck some of my leaflets on the corner of the SEPA table over there. So as you're going out, please pick one up. There's a bit more information about different methods and things. And there's also a hidden page for my website on the bottom, which has got more information about other things which I haven't had time to talk about today, about essential oils that can help for self-care, about different crystals that you can use. And there's also a meditation on there. Now, I know the word meditation scares a lot of people because they associate it with having to sit in the lotus position and go into some Zen-like state. But it doesn't have to be that complicated. There's a meditation on this page that you can download, and it's been written specifically for children. So you can use it whatever age you are, and it's really accessible. And actually, it's nothing more than a relaxing story with some nice relaxing music in the background. So please consider just taking a look and just trying something new. I just want to end on a really nice quote that I read. I really appreciate being asked to come and talk to you today, because I know that I'm a little bit out of the box and not quite what everybody was expecting today, and you certainly didn't expect to be standing and smacking yourself. But I'm hoping that I've managed to introduce you to something a bit different, and that you might be feeling a little bit more energised and a bit more calm than you were before. And I just want to finish with a quote from Dostoevsky, and he said, "The heart is healed by being with children." So I think everybody in this room is blessed already. Thank you.